Hey, good evening, and welcome live from Miami International Airport here in Miami, Florida. And if you've been following my Twitter posts and Facebook updates, you'll know that we're currently experiencing a longer than expected delay. We were supposed to leave out about 6 o'clock, this evening, but instead explosion from one of the volcanoes in Ecuador actually canceled our flights, and we were all rescheduled for 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. So most of us are still here in the airport. We're gearing up to actually spend the night here. I'm actually running right now on 3 hours rest, having been a procrastinator that I am, to being here now. It's I believe about a little bit after 8 o'clock tonight. So just to kind of give you a heads up about what's about to come, I'm going to be trying to post video updates about our progress and the things that we're going to be doing. I am on my way to Guayaquil, Ecuador, one of the largest cities in Ecuador, and a small country in South America. This will be my third year going. I'm actually serving on the university team for the second time now. I'm actually one of 5 members at Mount Zion Church in Cary, who has partnered with the Cary Church of God, who's been going to Ecuador now, I believe, for 20 years. And Cary Church of God basically organizes this trip with their great church staff and great church leaders, alongside with many other Ecuadorians who are there in Ecuador helping us as we assemble different teams. I don't have the actual count, but I want to say we have at least probably about 150 members of this trip that are probably coming from all parts of the U.S. We have a church there in Alabama. We have a couple of churches in the Raleigh, Cary, Durham area, as well as churches over in other parts of the U.S. or members that are currently been now located in other parts of the U.S. that may have been at one point connected to some of these other churches who still continue to go and participate with this trip. So we are preparing to enter our last leg tomorrow as we enter to Guayaquil. Monday normally is the first day of our mission activities, and teams consist of I'm sorry, I think got people running beside me but our teams consist of a university team, which I'm a part of. We go to the University of Guayaquil to teach English to students who are taking English as a second language. There's also the prison team, where they go to the men's and women's prison to evangelize. There is a church planning team that goes out to different local communities to help really share the word of God and bring actually communities together in terms of like starting a new church, basically. We also have a construction team that goes out into the field. Normally they're either building a church, I believe, which is what they will be building this year, as well as in the past I think they've built medical facilities as needs have been called for it. We also have a medical team, which is generally our largest team out of the groups, and these consist of doctors and lawyers and eye care practitioners, as well as volunteers who may not necessarily be in that field or industry or have that type of expertise, but yet then there are services to help evangelize, help out the medical staff as they're here to, or in Guayaquil at least, to provide medical care. So we have basically 2 groups. Generally, one group flies out from Saturday and then leaves Ecuador Saturday. I'm generally always on the Sunday team that always has problems either leaving Miami or after we've left Miami, experiencing some type of a delay. Last year, we flew out of Miami and went to Quito, which is the capital of Ecuador, and it's in a mountainous region of Ecuador. Because of some storms that came through, we ended up having to spend the night at a local hotel, because unlike here in America, South America, at least in Ecuador, they want to let you stay overnight in the airport. So we actually had to assemble. We were split across different hotels, and while it may sound like a little bit more luxurious to spend the night at maybe a hotel as opposed to spending the night at the airport, it was actually kind of logistical nightmare in a sense, just trying to keep up with 50 or more people who are all trying to get to the same location. And I believe that's about the number that we have on our Sunday flight here. At least we had one person who was on my team. I actually served this year as one of the team captains who has a team of at least 13 people. I'm responsible ensuring that we're getting from one point A to point B. And one of my team members actually was flying out from Pennsylvania, from Pennsylvania to Miami to Guayaquil. But she was flying all of those legs of her flight by herself. Well, this delay produced one good thing. She's now able to kind of at least join us as a group, and therefore she can fly into Guayaquil with our team. So we are looking forward to, as we get ready for the next day, at least for the university team, to connect with some of the people we've made great connections with there at the University of Guayaquil. And so I'm hoping and praying right now that God continue to move, because God continue to allow for doors to stay open, because that was definitely a challenge for us last year, and that we are able to find opportunities to share the gospel, because really that is what we're called to do. Even though I'm here on a missions trip to go to another country outside of the United States, mission is not just going out to another country. I mean, we have a mission in our homes, whether it's being parents to our children, whether it's being a spouse, whether it's being a brother or a sister to another loved one. It starts at the home, and then it goes from there. I mean, it starts in our backyard. It starts where we live. And so if we're not willing to be missionaries there, how effective will we be if we are about to go out to another country? So I'm just asking that we continue to be in prayer as we move forward to go into areas where people may not be as receptive to the gospel, that they may allow for God to continue to work on their hearts, because it's God that does the work. And no matter how much we're out there in the field sharing the word of God, if God's not in it, then there's really not much that we're going to be effective in terms of completing the mission, especially if we're not focused on Him first. So we've always got to be in prayer in terms of where we are and what God has, in store for us. And then a lot of times we also have to be ready to operate sometimes outside of the organized plan for the day. So we're just being in prayer that as we continue to move, that God will continue to move with us. And I also want to ask for a prayer too for those who may have been affected by today's explosion. If you are following me on Facebook, I did post a link to an article that describes the location and the volcano that did produce a lot of ash, that therefore caused a lot of the delay and changes in flight schedules. So hopefully over the week I'll be able to share with you. Got the youth are actually rehearsing right now behind me, for some of their skits. So I think I don't know if you can hear them in the background, but they're celebrating. But anyway, hopefully over the next few weeks, or for the next few days for this week, I'll try to be sharing with you progress as we move forward with the university team, and I'll see if I can grab some other members of our team, whether it be Mount Zion members, other Cary Church of God members, or members of my team with the university team, and as we continue to do what God has called us to do for this weekend. So I'm going to look forward to trying to find a way to find some type of rest before we get on to our flight for tomorrow morning. And I'll try to keep everyone updated. So you can follow me if you found this video some other means. You can follow me on Twitter at Matthew, MATTHEW_Darby, DARBY, or you can follow me on Facebook at Matthew Bryant Darby. and I'll be posting status updates about the progress and what God is going to be doing as we're here in Guayaquil, and even before we get to Guayaquil, because God is already in the midst and He's already been working before we got there, and He'll continue to work when we leave. So keep us in your prayers. Pray for those who are already there. Pray for the Ecuadorians as well as the loved ones and the family members who were left behind, as they also are praying for their loved ones who are on this trip. So take care and have a good night.